If you're a Cleveland Browns fan looking for a break from the emotional roller coaster that is the price we pay from loving then hating our Browns, then a big welcome to Cleveland Browns Anonymous, a group therapy podcast to help you survive the season. So let's start our meeting.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Riley with Brooke Riley here on our Cleveland Browns meeting once again. We use the dreaded word rebuilding, ? So, Brooke, it's been a tough week again. Your thoughts on the game and where the Browns are?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad. I don't think the word, what did you say?
Building?
Rebuild. Yeah, I don't think it's rebuilding. I kind of see what the Commanders do. I think it's retooling. You find your young quarterback in the draft, and that solves a lot of problems. So that's kind of the way I look at it. I mean, they still got Myles Garrett. They still have, Cedric Tillman. He's looking like a stud. We still have I think some solid young pieces on the defense. I think in the offseason they'll definitely retool the offensive line. I just think, hey, we're you go into the draft. I think you really need to start looking at this quarterback class. And one thing just on that note, I'm so done hearing from the pundits saying, oh, you got to wait for next year's draft. There's always a couple guys in the draft who are good. So, I'm not going to wait for Arch Manning Jr. or, it's like, hey, if there's a quarterback you like in the draft, you're probably going to have a top 5 pick. Go get your guy,
Well, here's my thinking. I agree with you about rebuilding. I mean, my God, how many All-Pros do you have to have on your team? You got JOK, you got Denzel, you got a couple people in the secondary, you got Miles, and that's just on defense. You got Bitonio, Teller, Conklin, Jerry Jeudy, definite Njoku, who both those guys legit possible Pro Bowls. You got Nick Chubb, who could be Hall of Fame material. I agree a quarterback's important like the Commanders, but I really think the problem this year has just been an utter collapse of the coaching. You got Bill Callahan leaving, O-line coach. I mean, they let Van Pelt go. Dorsey comes in. I mean, my God, he got fired from Buffalo. What does that tell you? But again, he's working with Watts. And then, of course, Stefanski and that whole crew, the way they coached, or I should say didn't coach Watson, failed to discipline him when he just was whatever he was doing or not doing or they're supposed to be doing. I mean, there's nobody in charge. And I mean, just the way they're losing, it's just like every dumb mistake they can make, they lose. I mean, jumping off, offsides inside in the red zone. What happened 2 or 3 times? Right. Holding call on receipt. It's just dumb. And Watson not getting rid of the ball in time. It's just a coaching failure. And I'm not saying rebuild by getting rid of Stefanski, but this is where you have to have. I mean, these guys have to start looking in the mirror and saying, we got to coach better. I mean, we gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. Had once again Joe Woods type breakdowns in the secondary. Drop passes on the front end of the year. I mean, what else? Whatever could go wrong went wrong, and that's been this season. And I want Stefanski to stop saying I need to coach better every week. I think that should be a $10,000 fine from Jimmy Haslam. I don't want to hear that. I mean, we have a contracting business, Riley Painting and Contracting, which I started 50 years ago. And I know that if my customer had to come up to me every day and say, "Hey, Mike, the guys didn't clean up well, or there's paint on the windows, or this gutter wasn't put back up, or you left some tools up on the roof." What am I going to tell them every day? "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I'll take care of it. My bad, I'll take care. Oh no, I got to." After at the end of the day, they're going to say, "Listen, I didn't hire you so that I have to be the foreman. I hired you because you're the foreman." Now, Kevin, if you don't know how to coach, maybe you should step down. You step down and go back to be an offensive coordinator.
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Getting your house ready to sell, or you just need some basic repairs, and you can't get anybody to come out or even return your phone call. Then call Riley Painting and Contracting, your home mechanics, for all of your home repair needs, from electrical, plumbing, roof repairs, and getting your house ready to sell. 45 years in the business, a AAA on the Better Business Bureau, and we're on the preferred contractor list in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights. You can contact us by calling 216-371-8160 and leave a message, and guess what? We'll call you back.
But no more of this this is what it's like, fingernails on a chalkboard. And my God, thank God we have the Cavs now. I mean, Atkinson's coming in. Now we're seeing some coaching, right?
Right.
That team's night and day from last year. I mean, you had a coach that could take them up to a certain place. Bickerstaff, good with working with the young people. Now you got to get some more sophisticated coaching, kind of like what happened when Sean McVay came in. But my God, oh please God, no rebuilding. Just coach better. Just make sure Watson is not back on the field.
Well,
That's my thoughts.
I think they're not going to do a full rebuild. I mean, if they did, they had the trade deadline this past week. I mean, if they were doing a full rebuild, you would have seen Greg Newsome gone. Hell,
Denzel
Miles might have been gone.
No, they're not going to let Miles go. That's like Nick Chubb.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that if they were doing a full tank and rebuild, they would have, they would have traded a lot more pieces. So I don't think I feel confident that at the end of the season, there's going to be some change now, whether that's the Moneyball wizard, Paul DePodesta. I don't even know what the hell he does. I mean,
well, he's another guy from Harvard. He's like the McKinsey and Company. He's another guy from Harvard, and you got to ask.
Well, I think his title is the Chief Strategy Officer. I mean, so far his strategy, it ain't working.
Well, I was hoping that the Watson thing would work itself out, because that has all the trademarks of an Andrew Berry, DePodesta, thinking outside the box, Moneyball play. I mean, look at what they did getting rid of Amari Cooper.
That's your opinion on the Watson thing.
They got a frickin' third round pick. I mean, the thing is that the Browns' hallmark has been smartest guys in the room, going back to when they traded for that Denver quarterback, forgetting his name, and got a second rounder. When they were building up, when they got rid of Hugh Jackson, they brought Stefanski in. Now I'm thinking, finally, we got a Pittsburgh Steeler type organization here. Everything's connected from the top down. I think, my opinion, I know we talked about this in the past, Haslam did not tell them to pick Watson. I think he said, okay, I'm on it. If you guys aren't on it, I'm willing to spend the money. I'm willing to go off on a limb here with a guaranteed contract. Haslam did not initiate this deal. This is an Andrew Berry play. And it just blew up in their face because you got Kevin Stefanski, who is not Bill Parcells, who doesn't know how to coach a Deshaun Watson. And there's so much rust on the guy. And they don't even play him in the exhibition season. So I think now we got a mismatch this year. It's all coming to bear because Stefanski doesn't know how to deal with this. I mean, they're making moves at warp speed. They're getting this guy in, they're getting this guy in, they're getting this coach in. And it's like the deck got, cards got shuffled on the table, and Stefanski doesn't know how to play the hand he was dealt. So I think this is going to be one of those years like the Guardians had last year. Guardians last year were not that good. And all of a sudden, they get Voit in, people stay healthy, the young guys get better. Browns, all I can say is they better nail that draft. They're going to have a lot of draft capital, that first, second, and maybe they get somebody, like you say, top 5 quarterback. And who knows, DTR, they might have something there. Okay? That could be a diamond in the rough. Final thoughts, Brooke?
Yeah, I mean,
rebuilding podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Watson contract has Jimmy's DNA all over it. That's my opinion on it. So.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been our quickie meeting. And let's, folks, if you want to hear some of our other stuff, so we got Small Business Confidential, the inside scoop on what it's really like, the headaches to run a small business, and then we've got our flagship Cleveland Real Estate Investors. So let's jump on over and do a podcast on that, Brooke. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Browns Anonymous podcast with Mike Riley. We have a lot more content on the way as we get this new podcast started. You can also check out some of our other podcasts like the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast and other new ones that will start soon. On any platform that you find yourself listening to us on, feel free to leave us a like or comment or follow us. It always helps.